In this video, we're going to talk about equivalent fractions. For equivalent fractions, for finding equivalent fraction, we can use two operations, multiplication and division. But in this video, we're only going to use multiplication. Now, for example, we have 1 over 4. In order to find an equivalent fraction for 1 over 4, we will multiply 1 over 4. But, for example, we're going to multiply it by 2. Always try to multiply it by an easy number first. But whatever we do to the numerator, we multiply the numerator by 2. We will do the same to the denominator. So we also multiply the denominator by 2. Now, we just multiply. 1 times 2 will be 2. And 4 times 2 will be 8. So 2 over 8 is an equivalent fraction of 1 over 4. Another example. For example, we have 4 over 6. Same thing. We will multiply it by 2. Both of them, the numerator and denominator. Don't forget, we don't do it one of them alone. We should multiply both of them. Now 4 times 2 will be 8. 6 times 2 will be 12. So 8 over 12 is another equivalent fraction for 4 over 6. We have a question. In this question says write 2 equivalent. This is our keyword. 2 equivalent fraction for each. For example, the first time we have 2 over 4. Same, remember. For finding the first equivalent fraction, we multiply it by 2. Then it will be 4 over 8. But we are not done because the question says 2 equivalent fraction and we only found one. So we will write the fraction again. 2 over 4. And this time we will multiply it by a different number. We cannot multiply it by 1 because the fraction will stay the same. We want it to be different in number forms. So we multiply it by 3. Now it will be 2 times 3 will be 6. 4 times 3 will be 12. So we found 2 equivalent fractions. This is the first one. And this is the second one. For which fraction? For 2 over 4. Another example. 7 over 9. Saying we multiplied by 2 first. Multiplied by 2. It will be 14 over 18. This is first. For finding the second one, we will write the fraction again, 7 over 9. And this time, we will multiply it by 3. So it will be 7 times 3 and 9 times 3, which will be 21 over 27. And this is the second equivalent fraction. Okay, I want you to try to do that one yourself. Write 2 equivalent fraction for 5 over 8. I'm gonna start solving into 1. Now, first we multiply it by 2, which will be 10 over 16. This is the first one. Then for the second one, we will write the fraction again, 5 over 8. And this time we will multiply it by 3. Which will be 15. 8 times 3 will be 24. Okay, now in equivalent fractions we have something else. We have simplest form. Now what's simplest form? Simplest form is also an equivalent fraction, finding an equivalent fraction, but in simplest form we only use division. Not multiplication, only division. Now, in order to find the simplest form, first we should know what's simplest form. Simplest form is another fraction that's equivalent to that, but in the smallest form. Means it cannot be any smaller. For example, we have 4 over 6. We said for simplest form we use division. Now, in order to know what number can I divide them to, I'm gonna think about the divisibility rule first and the factors of the numbers. But in here, divisibility rules will apply because both of them are even. 4 is even and 6 is even also. We can divide them by 2 because both of them are divisible by 2. Now when we divide it, 4 divided by 2 will be 2. 6 divided by 2 will be 3. I'm still thinking, can I divide them by any other number beside 1 and 0? Because we cannot divide them by 0. And for 1, when we divide it by 1, like that, the fraction will stay the same. And we said simplest form should make the fraction smaller. So we don't divide it by 1. Now, I'll think, do I have any other number that I can divide 2 and 3, both of them together by? For example, can I divide them by 2? I can divide 2 by 2, but I cannot divide 3 by 2. Can I divide them by 3? I can divide 3 by 3, but I cannot divide 2 by 3. So when we don't have any more division, we say this fraction is in the simplest form. Okay, another one. We have 14 over 21. In that one, same thing. We use division. But now I'll think, can I divide them by 2? Remember, the divisibility rule for 2 was the last digit should be even. 4 is even, but 1 is not even, so I cannot divide them by 2. Then I'll check the other one. Can I divide them by 3? We have a multiplication that's of 21. For example, 3 times 7 is 21, but we don't have any multiplication of 3 that's equal to 14. 3 times 4 is 12, 3 times 5 is 15, so we cannot divide them by 3. Then we check 4. Do I have any multiplication of 4 that's equal to 14 and 21? We don't. Then we check 5. Do I have any multiplication of 5 that's equal to 14 and 21? We don't. Then we check 6. Same thing. We don't have any multiplication of 6 that's equal to 14 and 21. And the last, we check 7. Do I have any multiplication of 7 that's equal to 14? Yes. 7 times 2. Then, do I have any multiplication of 7 that's equal to 21? Yes, 7 times 3. So I'm going to divide them by 7. Now, it will be 14 divided by 7, which is 2. 21 divided by 7, which is 3. And we already know 2 over 3 is in the simplest form. Okay. We have that question that says write each fraction in simplest form. Same thing. I have 9 over 12. I will check. Do I have any numbers that I can divide them to? We can do that, or we can find it by the factors. What are factors? Factors are the numbers that we multiply to get to each number. For example, I'm only gonna write the factors of the numerator, the smaller number. Okay, so I'm gonna write 9, and the factors of 9 are 1, 3, and 9. Then I'll check each one of them. We don't check 1. Remember, we don't divide it by 1. I will check 9. Can I divide them by 9? 9 divided by 9? Yes, we can. But can I divide 12 by 9? No, we cannot. Then I'll check the other one. I have 3. Can I divide 9 by 3? Yes, because 3 is a factor of 9. Then can I divide 12 by 3? Yes, we can, because 3 times 4 is equal to 12. So we divide them by 3. Now it will be 9 divided by 3 will be 3. 12 divided by 3 will be 4. Then I'll check again. Can I divide them by any number? 3 and 4. I cannot divide them by 2 because 3 is not divisible by 2. And I cannot divide them by 3 because 4 is not divisible by 3. And also we cannot divide them by 4 we will stop right here and say this is in the simplest form. Same for that one. 6 over 18. Same. I want you to write the factors of the numerator, which is 1, 2, 3, and 6. Okay. Now, I want you to go to the greatest factor, which is the 6. We always check the greatest factor first. 6. Can I divide 6 by 6? Yes, because it's a factor of 6. Then can I divide 18 by 6? Yes, we can, because 6 times 3 is 18. So we divide them by 6. Now 6 divided by 6 will be 1. 18 divided by 6 will be 3. And a note, whenever you see the numerator 1, this fraction is already in the simplest form. We cannot simplify it anymore, because 1, we cannot divide 1 by any number except 1. And we said we don't divide it by 1. Okay. I want you to pause the video and do this example yourself. I'm gonna start solving in 3, 2, 1. Now, 12 over 32, we can do it directly by knowing that both of them are even. We can do that, or we can write the factors of 12, the numerator, which is 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, 6, and 12. Then we check the greatest factor, which is 12. Do I have any multiplication of 12 that's equal to 32? We don't. That's why we cannot divide it by 12. Do I have any multiplication of 6 that's equal to 32? Remember, we don't check the numerator. Why? Because those are the factors of the numerator. We can divide the 12 by any of them. So, do I have any multiplication of 6 that's equal to 32? We don't. Then I'll check this 4. Do I have any multiplication of 4 that's equal to 32? Yes, we do. 4 times 8. That's why we will divide both of them by 4. Now it will be 12 divided by 4 will be 3. 32 divided by 4 will be 8. And 3 over 8 is in the simplest form. Okay, last example, same. Try to do it yourself. I'm gonna solve it in 3, 2, 1. Okay, first we write the factors of the 9, the numerator, the smaller number, which is 1, 3, and 9. Then we check the greatest factor, 9. Can I divide 27 by 9? Or do I have any multiplication of 9 that's equal to 27? Yes, we do. 9 times 3. So we divide them, the numerator and denominator, both of them, by 9. Now it will be 9 divided by 9, 1. 27 divided by 9 will be 3. And remember, whenever you see 1 in the numerator, this fraction is already in the simplest form.